This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformation with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives and Soul Agreements. 3 audio CD series, Metaphysical Meditations, Sourcing Series, and Sleep Programming. Tara has also collaborated with Emmy Award-winning Shane Stanley and Marla Maples on numerous DVDs. Tara Sutphen is a master in the psychic sciences. If you'd like to find out more about Tara's work, upcoming seminars, and meditations to help you fulfill your dreams, visit her website at tarasutphen.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. And my guest today is Jason D McKean. He's a producer and a wizard. He has been the voice of Om on over 1 million copies of different Om albums. And from Eternal to Eternity to Indigenous to you name it, lots of meditations as well. And welcome, Jason McKean.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Om beats. Don't forget Om beats.
Om beats.
That is like caffeine for the spiritually minded. Om beats is kind of the opposite of like someone who wants to go into a meditative state and kind of lose themselves. This is like it's the opposite of. It's like if you want to clean the house, if you want to do your taxes and stay upbeat and all that, and stay awake, stay in a
I need that
energized state.
Very cool.
You get up kind of early, don't you, to do the radio show?
This is a little early for me to do the radio show because I'm in New Zealand. Yeah, it's just a tad early. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's great. It's great to talk to you guys and be in the world right now. And today we're going to talk about I thought that we'd go over, guardian angels, always fun to talk about, and incantations, intent, myth, and ritual, new thought, new age, which everybody's talking about the third wave of 5D and the spring equinox and reincarnation. And I'm in the fall equinox, actually. Yeah. So.
You mean there in New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Their autumn.
Right. And we're going to have seminars down here and in Australia. Yeah, it's fun.
Fantastic. So happy spring equinox, if I didn't relate that to you before. That was the 21st, right? March 21st?
Yeah, 21st. Yeah, and for us, it was the 21st was the day before when you guys were celebrating.
Were there any specific aspects that were falling on that same day as the equinox, or anything know about?
Well, that was when the world has been talking about the third wave of 5D, which I don't know that much about, but it's a very much a coming into a higher alignment, which a consciousness does seem to be taking effect. Everybody is becoming a little more, the complaining kind of all over the world has kind of allowed people to say, oh my, we need to raise this at this point. So people have been getting more into, and people that I've been around, I'm around a lot of meditators and a lot of people who are not really willing to be, part of a base emotion of anything. So, base emotions is when you're too angry to really actually learn to live and play in the world. This is supposed to be a joyful life. we're supposed to be. I mean, not everything will go our way, but we have to trust that it will in some, sense. On the energy level, the energetic level, we have to trust that everything is really wonderful. I mean, I certainly feel very blessed in my life every moment.
Yeah, I feel that, it's like, to have a fulfilling life, right? It's like being aligned with our purpose, like why we're here in the first place, right? And not everyone's purpose is the same, right? As far as the specifics of it, I think that, we can live kind of different lives, be of service in different ways to others at different levels, right? Some people are they are in a place of service on a smaller local level. Some have a more global presence, and so not everyone has to be equal in that sense, right? But the work that we do is to help people tap into that part of their spirit, the part of themselves that is telling them, this is what you're here to do on the planet, and so stepping into the energy of that and being at one with your purpose, why you're here, that can bring about the most fulfilling life for anyone.
Yes. It's true. Yeah, it's fulfilling when you're just living an authentic life. And, I remember I had talked about that in Whispers in the Wind. I did a Artivist video. Gosh, it's years now. And many years. And not many years, but maybe years. And it was all about the callings of people's lives. That we were all called to do a certain duty on the planet. And, it's a whisper. And you catch it. You go forward.
And I feel that a lot of people resist it too, as far as like they feel like they're not ready or they're not at a certain experience level. And so it intrigues them, but as far as like feeling that they are worthy enough to step into it, it's like, it's important to step into the energy. It's important to, it's like, you don't have to become that full, expert or whatever in a field kind of on day one, right? But it's important to
sometimes you can't be. You can't be an expert. You don't have you haven't done the steps yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely thrown into an arena where I was becoming an expert fast, but I didn't really realize, because I was one of those people who resisted what really I kind of do in life. Not that my life wasn't its entirety since I had that surgery at 6 weeks old. I mean, the entirety, doing my life's work. So it couldn't have been anyone else. Other than being a seer and a clinical hypnotherapist, I definitely didn't, try to take over anybody else's thing. I was just being a mom and, being working and it just kept coming and coming and coming, where the psychic ability, it was, so I was counseling a lot of people, doing automatic writing where, gosh, who knew I was going to be best friends with Jeff Stern. Had written the book, The Sleeping Prophet, with the greatest automatic writing person, Edgar Casey. And, I became prolific at it. So that stuff like that, it's just like, why? But even automatic writing got to be, too slow for me. And so I have to do always be counseling and using my psychic ability,
Right.
even in every modality that I do.
Right. What have you been up to this last week in New Zealand?
Oh, I've been doing a lot of astrology, a lot of tarot, a lot of just hanging out with people too, and a lot of hiking. And I'm really on a regime to get bikini bodied before our summer up north.
Yeah, not New Zealand's summer, because it's going to be winter.
Now we're in fall. We're in fall here, but it's not very it's not very hot. I mean, not very cold rather. It's
Yeah, sure.
But it's not cold. I mean, it is not real hot either. Yeah, it's a little muggy here and there, but it's going to rain for 5 days now. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what they say anyway.
Yeah.
It's hard to say with the island weather. It changes.
The pictures of you hiking and the photos that you posted on Facebook have been really beautiful, and it looks like you've been hanging out with some really cool people.
Yeah, really super great people. And, they're art directors for magazines and just really, really amazing people here. They just have, they're really experts in their fields, and we've just been having a lot of really great times. And Jules is great hostess and, cooks fabulously, and everybody just comes together. A lot of doctors, a lot of, I'm with a lot of people. It's really fun.
Yeah. And is the workshop that is there, is that what's happening there as far as is that coming up?
Oh, the workshop. Yes. I have a workshop on the 1st and 2nd. It's a psychic development. It's down in Mount Maunganui, which is a holy mountain of the Maori. It's really beautiful down there. Really super beautiful.
How do people find out about it?
Coming onto my Instagram, there are little clips for it. And actually you can go in and you can write to Jules.Bonny. So it's JULES.Bonny, BONNY @iCloud.com. And then actually someone else is handling everything. So we just send it over to her. Yeah. So
Jules Bonny at iCloud.
Yes. .com. Yeah, and then if anybody wants to call, it's +64 021 162 4445, and that is 64 021 162 4445.
And that handles the New Zealand seminar and also the Australian seminar coming up?
Yes, the Australian seminar is being handled in Australia and here. So, yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, and Australia will be with Yununde Wiwiwati, and Jason always loves when I say his name.
Yeah, say it again.
Yununde
just for me.
Wiwiwati. Anyway, he is an amazing shaman, Aborigine shaman, and he's amazing. I mean, I'm so excited to be in his presence because there's just a energy transference that happens with him. Whatever you've been dealing with will be on its way to being cleared up. Nice. I don't know if he's really great, really super great. Yeah, very sweet.
And what date was that again, that you're going to be in Australia?
Oh, we're going to be in Australia. Let's see. That seminar is the 8th and 9th.
Of April.
Yes. April.
In Byron Bay?
Yeah. And then we're having evenings. We're actually having a lot of evenings in Auckland. We're doing Monday and Wednesday evenings. It's near downtown, so if anybody's interested in that too. Fun. Yeah.
It's at a specific place, or
yeah, we're going to have that in there in Ponsonby. So that too can be jules.bonnie@icloud.com. And we just have a lot of there's a lot of just locals that are already that might be filled. I'm not sure. Yeah, we have quite an array of people who come around and hang out.
And are those like spontaneous types of sessions where you'll do like a meditation?
I'm going to do life force activation meditations on Mondays, and then a past life regression. They're just hour long, so you're just coming in, before dinner, and we'll just play around with past life on the Wednesdays.
That aspect.
Visiting for a while. I'm visiting here for a while, so it's just fun.
Yeah. Part of what we were like going to talk about with like incantations, right, and intent.
Yes.
As far as like it's a powerful time, especially again with this aspect of groups, like of people who are wanting to change things up, right? Because it's not enough to just complain about a situation. It's like what are you going to do? What are you going to bring to part of a solution, right? To move through something, to find a better way of clearing, what you feel is like either a negative aspect of what's happening to you or what you're helping to create, so.
Right. Right. Because complaining is part of the problem, not a part of the solution.
Well, it can be a
beginning, but
like a wake up call, right?
Yes.
It can be, something within us that says, you know what, okay, there's a problem, right? It's like when you start feeling a cold coming on and one starts coughing or sneezing, whatever, it's like, you don't want to be in that state forever. You want to like start working towards coming to a place of health. And, with meditation and all, as far as like building intention, that is like a first step, right? One can plant those seeds of a new direction of one that is moves towards a place of healing, of finding solutions. Do you in your meditations, how do you work that so that people can start the process of getting past complaint and into direct action?
Well, I start with meditation, calming the spirits and calming your mind. Like, everything that in the world is not exactly out to get you. It's out to help you. And if you turn your mind toward that, we can, start getting a little bit more into the channel of that you're going to make good decisions and not bad decisions. And, good decisions for some people is not necessarily what I would do on some levels. I tend to like to be a little bit more, and maybe this is controlling in some ways in my life, is to be a little more proactive on my health, be a little more proactive on my thoughts out in the world as far as when I'm driving. I mean, I am a forward-thinking person to whereas I feel that, to pray for protection, to, be in a state of grace at all times may bring better results. Our mom was in a terrible car wreck this week. Our sisters had cancer. We've had some really terrible things happen lately. But they've been pretty good as far as bringing their life back on track. You know, our mom still, we're, you know, hoping everything's fine with her. Only a couple days ago. But the thing is that, you know, it's, you know, life can be rough. Life is rough. People, you know, politics, religion, you know, people get worked up at all this stuff. Whereas it's, you know, but I come back into the genetics of, you know, we were talking about this yesterday about New Zealanders. Well, they're kind of the risk takers of the world when it came to Western Europe, as a lot of Americans are. And it's like, well, you know, in our genetic code, you know, it's, you know, nobody's a conformist really. So it's like, let's all try to just, you know, status quo, get along, and you know, you don't have to flee. You can actually learn to be bureaucratic and I think gentle. You know, it's called being graceful and polite. You know, a lot of people are not as polite anymore. They either feel that they're stuffing it, and then all of a sudden they blow up. It's about learning to be polite.
Yeah, well, repression
Put it out another way.
Never works, right, as far as, like, you know, where you feel like you're having to stuff your feelings and all, or say something, you know, and is what you need to express. Is it valid? You know, I mean, does it come from a place of, you know, truly wanting to move yourself forward in a way that is positive, is constructive, or are you harboring a lot of resentment, a lot of hatred, you know, and that can certainly, you know, be a place to, you know, examine one's own process, right?
Oh yeah.
Because not everything that can be said should be said, you know, in a public place, you know, because of the energy behind it, right? Again,
right.
It can come from a place of ignorance, you know. It can come from
right.
a place of, you know, truly wanting to just harm someone without knowing, you know, why, you know, or where that comes from.
Right. It usually turns back on the person. So that's usually that's a boomerang.
Right.
Let's go Australian here. It's a boomerang.
Right. Yeah, and it is, you know, that is kind of like how the physical world or the external world works. It works to either support or like smack you back, as far as, you know, when you know, your inner world, you know, wants to express itself, right? And it's like either you get validated or not. And I in my own, like, with my own clientele and all that, I always talk about, you know, the aspects of, like dreams, for instance, goals, right, that we have for ourselves, and how we seek to manifest them. If we move forward in a way that is in sync with our goal, it's like that's going to help the process. You know, if, let's say, you know, it's like I work in North Hollywood a lot, and there's a lot of actors and actor, you know, wannabe types, you know, who haven't quite landed a big role or whatever.
Right, but they're trying
like,
there.
It's like, are they, you know, they're wondering if that's what they should be doing, right? I mean, they get discouraged and all, and it's like, you know, are you, you know, doing the work of, you know, studying, of auditioning, and if someone is not, if they're not seeking to, you know, expand their craft, then, then they may be fooling themselves. But usually, it's this external world that will help validate what it is that we're feeling inside, right? It's like being in love with someone, right? And just holding that in and not talking to the person and thinking that you're in a relationship. But it's like if you go to talk to the person and they don't respond to you, I mean that's a way of letting of signaling you if you're on the right track.
Right. Well, this is the intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Incantations are way different than intentions, although that's more of a, the incantations are more spells and you're going for an objective as well and creating intent, but intent is the goal or a target, your object. But the thing with a person, now it's different when you're doing career intentions over love intentions. Love intentions take two people. So love intentions is a little different because the other person has to be on the same vibe as you. So
can you make someone on the same vibe as you? Can you use an incantation to create that same vibration of love?
You can ask the universe. There's no hurt in asking the universe, but if you have to beg for somebody to love you, then why do you want it? You have to trust that you have asked for a great life. When you ask for a great life and people go out of your life, in the love area, you have to trust it. You just have to trust it because it's telling you that you're not on the right path with this person. And when you ask for a great life, you want the greatest part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not crumbs or nothingness. You want wonderfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you've asked for. And, some people want a certain person, but they don't really want relationship in their life. So many people are not willing to compromise on some level. So you have to know what you want, really, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I because of the many people that I work with, and just looking at my own process as well, it's like of my own past attachments and all. It's like we can get hooked into a certain individual, and maybe it's not working, right? That because with a relationship, it has to be two people coming together to make it work. But if it's just one person who's just doing all the work in their head,
yeah. Well, then, it's compromising too. Each person compromises to be with someone else because, of course, not everybody's going to think the same or be the same. And there's so many lists. When people come to me and are looking for love and want to do some incantations for it, there's a lot on the list. We create these lists. And there's a lot, they don't want them to watch, if women don't want them to watch sports or they don't want to be, they don't want to have somebody too jealous or too, those sort of things sometimes you can't control. You have to manage, and this is called, where you don't need to control somebody else's life fully. You're going to accept somebody and accept their faults as well as their great qualities. And you're going to look at their great qualities more than less. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So it's more about qualities sometimes, as far as like when you're doing an incantation, when you're building up the energy for that to release that out into the universe. It's about building up qualities as opposed to a specific person, right?
Yeah, never a face, never a name.
Like these qualities of kindness, of being reciprocal in the amount of love that is shown and given. Great sex, like just all these aspects that help build a wonderful relationship, and to not try to box that into like a specific individual, or especially if that person, if they know that person isn't on board, it's like I've just seen it, too much where people are just fighting that, just reality, right? They're just fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting reality.
Where it's just not happening. And I've done it myself. So I know where it comes from, and it's painful, letting go, but that process of letting go can be very freeing and opening up a new doorway, to a better life, and not one of resistance and pain.
Oh, yeah. 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 One, you have to know when sometimes the universe does take people on a path far away from where you started, so you don't, it's not coming together. It's very interesting. Yeah. But yeah, so the incantations for that. Now for career, if you're seeking money is more an energy where you can call it to you, because it's an inanimate object. It's not somebody else's will or soul. There's no soul in money. It's a thing. We're not taking it with us when we die. So you can call that on the earth, and a lot of times it's moving your body towards it as you call it. So I always say that, you have to sell yourself, or you have to sell a product before, you can actually go out towards something. And, because people get really mundane about that. They think that money's just going to plop in their lap. Not, the earth doesn't work like that, even though we'd like it to. So we have to build our energy level as well. And so that comes back to, taking care of yourself enough to where your energetic flow is going forward. And, sometimes people want that, they'll say they want certain things, but they're not really going towards that goal. So you have to start step by step, and, I'm being more creating a beautiful life, not thinking it has to look a certain way or be a certain way. It just has to be, authentic. And then it just steps into its zone. Really.
I like that word, authentic.
Yeah, a lot of people, I'm around a lot of people where we talk about an authentic life. I'm around psychologists, and a lot of the new speakers and stuff, have a lot of them under my roster as clients, where I'm coaching them and, which way to go and what to do. It's really fun. Very, very fun. Yeah, it's I have a few that are really being seen in the world. They're going all over the place. It's really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. So they're stepping into...
Jason out there too. He's out in the world now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was behind the scenes. Great producer. Can put together any sort of packaging, any sort of sound, engineering. You're great, Jason.
My wizardry skills were definitely in the area of production, for sound, for visual, and yet, we talk about like callings, and there's definitely been a calling to be out in the world,
actually see people
in an energetic level, to be of service, to not be that person who is like, directing people how to live, but kind of like more the friendly ear, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
people will choose for themselves how they move forward, and if they want to move forward, right? As far as
Right.
if someone is ready to move forward. And so, with tarot, I've found like a really, being able to talk about tarot. I do this on my radio show, Wizard Talk, um, uh, more and more lately, where I'll just pick a concept. Like yesterday, I was talking about the cards of what. my mind went blank as far as like what I was talking about yesterday. But grounding. There you go.
Oh, grounding. Oh,
Grounding.
yes, grounding. Like, oh, we had to come back to go to the ground.
My
Right.
brain was up in the clouds there. but
Right.
but grounding just your dreams so that you're able to manifest them, right? So that you're able to not just wish and hope and dream, but make it happen, right? To connect with that which is real, and not get too like, spiritually out in the clouds there. And it's like we're here on the planet, in the physical plane, for a purpose, for a reason. It's like, so get in sync with it, right? And so that you can be
Right.
both. You can be that spiritual person who operates on a physical level. That's the magician, right? As above, so
Yes.
below, bringing in divine guidance and manifesting that on the earth plane. And so with the tarot, what I was going to say about the tarot is that it offers this pretty complete way of looking at life, and again, so that one is recognizing their spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical processes, and looking to integrate all of these things so that one is being effective in the world, and also that one is recognizing any blocks that they may have from achieving what it is that you want to achieve.
Right. Right. When I was writing just the ad copy of this and everything too, talking
Mm-hmm.
about, people that talk about like being of the new age and new thought, when I started doing the research on new age, it's such a broad movement that
Sure.
they don't really have, it's not really even categorized almost. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just that everybody's into mysticism and spirituality and holism and environmentalism. I mean, it was such a broad, isn't that every human should
Wow.
be? So we're all New Agers, actually, everybody on the planet. But then I looked up New Thought, and that was a philosophical movement in the 19th century. So in the 1800s by a man named Phineas Quimby. And that was really fun to look up. And his general beliefs, core beliefs, were God or infinite intelligence is supreme, universal, and everlasting. Divinity dwells with each person, that all people are spiritual beings. The highest spiritual principle, loving one another unconditionally and teaching healing one another. Our mental states are carried forward into manifestation and become our experience in daily living. That was his, positive thinking, law of attraction, healing life force, creative visualization, personal power. These were his sort of concepts way back in the 19th century. I think humans over and over, because, we go to the Greeks and the Romans and all the different amazing empires that were, I love to study even the Arcana. So it's just this whole thing of thought. People have been doing it for, since the beginning of time, I guess.
I
Trying
think,
to figure things out.
yeah, but I mean, definitely what's different nowadays is the way that, we can communicate with each other faster. We can communicate globally. We can transcend languages. Things can be translated into the language of a particular country, region, and so we are able to take these ideas, right? Like what Phineas Quimby, was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Was espousing, right? And those are all very beautiful, sound ideas.
Amazing sound
and
ideas.
they don't contradict like our modern time, right? Where we seem to be more in step with the scientific advancements of the age of faster cars and phones for everyone, and it's certainly where everyone is I guess attracted to this new thought, or the new age thought, right? It's like they see a connection between each other, right? Like a spiritual connection. They want to be connected to higher spiritual source power, right? And then to recognize that in others as well, and then how to actually manifest that, right? How to actually get along on the planet, because I've been in spiritual groups where people hate each other. It's like
oh no.
Yeah. And
then you go, did you guys read Phineas by chance?
That's right. Phineas Quimby, right?
I'm going to start using it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. His name doesn't come up a lot.
Not really. It's kind of a cool name too. It's really different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Very 19th century.
Yeah, it is. Phineas.
Yeah, you see like that name on some kind of cure-all tonic bottle. There,
yeah. I didn't even know where he's from. Let's see.
Where was he from?
I don't know. Now I want to know where he's from. Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know. That would be. Yeah. I don't know where he'd be from. Let's see. He was from Maine.
Oh, from Maine.
Maine. Yeah. Oh, New Hampshire. He was born in New Hampshire and died in Maine. He was a mesmerist, a clockmaker, and an inventor.
Well, you know what a mesmerist is.
He was an Aquarius. He was an Aquarius who was born in 1802. February 16th, 1802.
A mesmerist is someone who mesmerizes others. He's a hypnotist.
Right. He's a hypnotist. Yep. Yes, and then, reincarnation. I wonder if we all knew him. Anybody was from Maine. I don't know if he wrote any books. I don't know. We'll have to look up. I'll have to look more about him. But
he wrote something down that has like survived him.
Well, those rules were his, where unconditional love is him. Yeah. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a picture of him too. In Wikipedia.
Does he have like mutton chops?
He has a
twirly
beard.
Mustache.
He has a beard. No.
I like him already.
I knew you would. I knew that wizard would. Yeah.
Phineas Quimby. I'll look him up.
Yeah. Yeah, he was even a magnetizer, philosopher magnetizer. Yeah, an American spiritual teacher. He died in 1866.
Right after
Wasn't yeah, he was not really. He was only 64 when he died.
Well, in those days, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's probably well, especially in cold country, New Hampshire and Maine. There, it was pretty cold.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I feel smarter today. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah,
That's
I always love little facts like that. If people think that they, dream up these ideas have been over and over, the Egyptians and mystery schools and
yeah.
That's
Well, I think too that it's not that the ideas ever get old, right? But
I'm always so excited about them. Like that was such an exciting find. Like, I really hadn't, sought that out, but that was fun.
Right. And it's how we, how we're able to talk about it, right? To kind of freshen it up, so it's like the law of attraction and the secret and all that. These are like ideas that have been around for eons. And yet, they cycle back. They come back and, in perhaps a different form. The messenger sometimes changes. Sometimes the messenger has a lot to do with, what the message is. I don't know that that's always the best thing, considering that people are, they have their issues. The spokespeople have
yes. I've been around on a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hopefully it doesn't diminish
human life.
Hopefully it doesn't diminish the power of thought that is inspiring, that is truly worthy of continuing. This idea of recognizing the divinity in others and trying to make this a better place. Through our own actions, through our kindness to others, our willingness to be a part of the planet and not shut ourselves off,
Yeah, no shutting ourselves off. Yeah. No, it's better to gracefully step forward instead of taking a step back. We talk about this, because I've counseled a lot of people, who are really in terrible circumstances right now. So it's always looking for the way out, not necessarily staying in a self-made, emotional prison. Have to break through that as well. Emotionally, move your body forward.
Right.
Towards the solution of everything.
Do you feel that your life force activation meditations, that is a way of beginning that process? If someone, finds themselves like where they've kind of locked themselves off emotionally or so, but they recognize that and say, you know what do I do? What do I need to do?
I think that's always a step. I love praying and, praying for real things. And I love that, that's just a good intention for other people. You're praying for yourself, praying for other people. And to keep it on a level of with your feet on the ground when you're praying for real things, then, not just enlightenment, because I talk about, that's why I source, is I'm, teaching you to pray for real life and to create these solutions that will help you get to the next stage. And, and Jason and I both counsel people day in and day out on, we gently guide. It's not, it's seers, if you took a step this way, maybe that's the way to go. Now, as I mean, I just feel that it's hard to stay in that stuckness. What do you think, Chase? Go ahead.
Well, I think that, I mean, both you and I recognize that area of like stuckness, right? And it's not something that we would look to move out of it, right? It's like, it's not a comfortable place for us, or one that we feel is
necessary.
Like it's an effective place. It's like, it's just not who we are. Not to say that, we don't have our times of, feeling down or tired or anything like that. It's not to say that we don't experience everything that someone else doesn't experience. But there are ways, there are methods of kicking ourselves in the butt to get us motivated, right? And to keep moving forward, and to stay inspired, and to stay connected.
And I believe that that's what the life force activation, when I'm doing in meditation, it's to stay inspired about your life, and to reconnect with your body and your mind and your potential, and feel inspired. And there are opportunities in life, and to actually start going towards those. So I think the life force activation is really fun. Now, I love to just do transcendental meditation, which is your mantra. And that gives me a lot of energy just to do for 20 minutes. I may do some work through my 20 minutes. I feel compelled to, whenever my clients feel like I need to set that up and do this and this, because I do have all those near-death experiences where, it's like, I can do a little work here, but I always come back to my mantra and say, hey, stay on my mantra. Stay on your mantra, get really powered up, and then, because you can drift off a little, meditation, your mind drifts sometimes. Sure. But then, stay on the mantra and come out of it. So, because I believe that, there's a restorative properties within us that's very important to come back into.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me on again.
No,
Tara.
It was so wonderful to have you on. Thank you for being willing to come and keep me awake. And thanks, Jason. Yeah.
Speaking of keeping people awake, I'll be at a coffee shop, Muddy Paw Coffee, on Sunday in Silver Lake. It's off of Sunset. Muddy Paw Coffee. There'll be a bunch of psychics. They're reading for this charity to benefit kittens.
I love it. Okay, anybody wants to get a hold of us in New Zealand, jules.bonny@icloud.com, jules.bonny @icloud.com for seminars in Australia or New Zealand, or private sessions. Okay, lots of love, Jason.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing your time with Tara Sutphen. Find out more about Tara's work, upcoming seminars, and meditations to help you fulfill your dreams by visiting her website at tarasutphen.com.